Well, welcome back to Scouting Stuff. You've got three of us today. Still got me, Scouter Ken, and coming at you from roughly halfway across Canada from where I'm situated, we have Andrew Brous and Rachel Kent, both from Scouts Canada. And they're actually here today to talk to us a bit about Scout Popcorn, because I guess the program has been significantly revamped this year. And everybody at National is really, really excited about it. So, before we get into the popcorn, though, let's do a quick round of introductions. So, Rachel, hello, and welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thanks for having us, Ken. Like you said, my name is Rachel. I'm the fundraising support coordinator here at Scouts Canada. And excited to tell you all about our updated popcorn program that we have launched in the fall.
Brilliant. And Andrew, little word about yourself.
Hey, Ken. Thanks for having me on today. Andrew Brous here. I am the strategic partnerships person here at Scouts Canada. So I work with several different groups, but I've been working with the fundraising team for the last year, which has brought us some really exciting new partnerships, which is why the program's changed so fundamentally.
Cool. Alrighty. So, yes, much a buzz about popcorn. And I mean, I've been in Scouts a long time. Actually, I was sitting at a cafe with my wife the other day, and I noticed that the proprietor had like a little display in the corner from like one of the local honey producers, and still see the honey bear sitting on the shelf. So I'm old enough to remember, like, as a Cub Scout going door to door selling honey bears. And popcorn came along, and I definitely sold my share of popcorn, and my kids sold their share of popcorn. And it was Trails End for a while, and then it was another provider, the name of which eludes me. But now I guess we've gone in and we've redone the program again. And to be fair, I am completely unclear on the details of what's new and what's changed and what's the same, if anything's the same, or even who we're getting our popcorn through now. So maybe let's start there. Who is handling popcorn? Because it's, long gone are the days of Trails End. And I thought that we had a provider that was Ontario-based for a while. Are we still with them, or are we with somebody new?
Yeah, that's one of our big updates this year is we're now working with Colonel's Popcorn. And so they're going to be our supplier. They offer Canadian-made popcorn. We're offering 4 unique flavors this year. So we have butter salt, cheesy dill, jalapeno jack, and Wayland white cheese. So all those come with a lower, more reasonable price point. We're just excited to work with them as they have a nationwide reach. They're a recognizable brand, and we're excited for what they're going to offer this year and future popcorn campaigns. Another new thing that we have this year is our free shipping to distribution hubs. So this has come after lots of feedback. Just saying how, shipping is a barrier. So we really wanted to, up the game this year and offer free shipping to those distribution hubs across the country. We're working with AMJ Campbell to offer each of those 27 locations. Hopefully fit the need that groups are asking for. And then I guess number 3 for kind of new updates this year is My Scout Group Shop, our online platform. So this offers groups their own unique fundraising dashboard that they can sell their popcorn from. It's as easy as sharing a link with your friends and family and watching the donations come in. So kind of getting more in the digital age of things and just trying to make it easier and more lucrative for our Scouters.
Okay, so I got about 4 different things to unpack there. First one was I noticed that most of the flavors were savory. I didn't catch a sweet flavor in the list there, really.
Yeah, sticking with savory this year. It is, the first year we're working with Colonels, so wanted to keep things simple. But yeah, certainly lots of opportunities to kind of grow in the future. And yeah.
Well, I think in some ways it's a good idea to streamline the flavor offerings because, I mean, at its peak, under like Trails End when we were still getting like the tins and everything, not that any of the flavors was bad, but there was a lot to choose between. And sometimes that choice can be just a little bit too much. Streamlining down to just a very select product line can sometimes really, really help drive engagement,
exactly.
drive sales.
Yeah, and then keeping all the bag size, consistent too. If we did anything candy coated, that would end up being like a little different. So yeah, again, like you said, Ken, just sort of keeping things consistent, simple, run it in year one. We'll see how it all goes.
Yeah, absolutely. The free distribution hubs is another great thing because, yes, I know that has been a pain point in the past of just, getting, and it's kind of changed, program to program, right? I mean, obviously, if you buy through the Scout Popcorn website, you buy an individual couple of bags of things. Okay, you'll pay the shipping cost for that to have it shipped to you. I know groups had gotten into the habit of like consolidating all their orders so there was just a single point of shipping, but it's still a pretty significant hit. So awesome that there's a partnership with AMJ Campbell to try and make this happen in a way that, it takes some of the pressure off of groups to absorb shipping costs. And the dashboard. Tell me more about the dashboard because, I mean, I know we had the scoutpopcorn.ca website previously. Now, has that gone away? Because you mentioned a different URL there, like myscoutgroup.ca or myscoutgroupshop.ca?
Correct, yeah, myscoutgroupshop.ca. So that's going to be the URL to buy all things national fundraisers. Scoutpopcorn.ca is still great for information, for getting to all those final links. So yeah, definitely check that out if you have questions. But yeah, all things national fundraisers as far as making purchases, making donations, it's all going to be through myscoutgroupshop.ca. And from that, groups will have their own links. So myscoutgroupshop.ca/your group name. And then they can direct customers right there through a click of a link. Customers can see what fundraisers you're participating in. They can check out and see if they have any, updates or upcoming events for your group. So it is just an interactive way for the youth and the groups to get in touch with their donors, let them know what's going on, and for donors to make donations as well, which is mostly what this is about.
That is actually a really cool thing because, like, I know I run our group's website, and a little while ago, kind of at the start of the summer, we were working on like really lining up donation links and like how to support us and putting a page on the website to do with that. And, we've got some stuff that we do just on our own, right? Like we have, we do bottle drives. And so we're partnered with Skip the Depot. We have a couple of other little like ongoing perennial sales that we've signed up for. True Earth baking strips or whatever, or baking laundry strips, not baking strips. Do not bake with your True Earth laundry strips. Do not do that. This is not the Tide Pod Challenge 2.0. No, don't do that. Laundry strips. But there is a donation button on the website as well. And it was a little bit convoluted to like figure out. And I actually had to like write a little set of instructions there on the page. Just like, okay, if you want to actually just donate directly to us, okay, click here, Scout's website, this, that, the other thing, look, and then this is where you type us in. So if this streamlines that headache, I'm all for it just on that basis alone. That's actually really cool that it is sort of that unified platform, not just for popcorn, but for however groups want to go about soliciting donations.
Yeah, we really wanted to make it like a one-stop shop for all things fundraising, whether it is with national fundraisers specifically, or if it's with your own bottle drive and your own fundraising activities as well. So we had tested this platform with our Scout Trees fundraiser back in the spring. And so we're making some updates over the summer to kind of do a full launch, now coming up with popcorn in the fall.
Nice. And groups can sign up for it already then? Or is it still kind of beta test closed except for the test groups?
Nope, they are good to go. You can't get into the platform just yet, but registration is open to sign up for Scout Popcorn and to sign up for My Scout Group Shop, whether you're using it for popcorn or for other fundraisers and your own activities. But yeah, registration is open.
I will let our treasurer know. All righty. So now all of this said, at the end of the day, groups still have to sell popcorn. So has that changed significantly? Or, are we still going to be getting the forms? We still going to be doing like door to door or setting up tables in our neighborhood? Like, how do the actual on the ground popcorn sales work? Are they still the popcorn sales we all know and love, or have things shifted there as well?
Yeah, I guess with My Scout Group Shop and, the online platform, we do want to just make things a bit easier for groups where, you don't have to go door to door. You don't have to stand out in the heat on a street corner. You can just send a link to friends and family, get them to purchase that way. But we do also have options if you want to run it the traditional door to door sales. We do have things like the online brochures and order collection sheets. If groups want to go around with, say, like an iPad and their fundraising dashboard pulled up, customers can make purchases in that sense as well, because that in-person aspect is important. But yeah, with the online platform, making things easy, making things online, that was sort of our main objective with all of this change.
Okay. If they are going door to door, are you integrated with Square or with anything like that? Like, what's the easiest way for a group if they are really big on door to door? And I ask mainly because there's a few groups in my area that are huge on door to door. And to be fair, like that is a significant portion of their fundraising for the year. It's nice to sell to friends and family, and some people's friends and family are very generous. But being able to get out in the community is often like, that is where I have traditionally seen groups make a lot of the money that they raise through the popcorn program. And it is a big thing here. So if they're going door to door, like what are their, you mentioned like having an iPad, but like what other options exist for, telling about the product, but also then collecting money for the product? And the reason I ask specifically about like other methods is that I know there are a few groups in the area that are really, 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 really dead set against ever having the Scouts do anything involving a glowing screen.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I would recommend the group either go with the link or the QR code that sends them right to their fundraising dashboard. And that way the customer can do it all right through their phone. It's, kind of their credit card info that goes in. If they make any designated donations or no one left behind donations on top of it, a tax receipt gets emailed directly to the customer. So it just makes things easier that way. So yeah, groups that still want to go out door to door, I'd say a link or QR code. And yeah, like I said, we do still have the order collections sheets. If groups really are against technology in that sense, then yeah, you can collect orders a little more similar to previous fundraisers, and just have either, your group commissioner, fundraising coordinator kind of place an order online in that way as well.
Andrew, why don't you just chime that in directly? Because I think those are both important points.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that sometimes it's easier going door to door with a form, or maybe you don't have access to an iPad, or you just want to, stay off the screen time. So we do have paper forms available. Groups can go door to door, collect orders the same way they would. Now, it is important to know that the order must still come through My Scout Group Shop. So you can collect all of the orders. People could pay you in cash, however you want to set that up. But you will have to come back to My Scout Group Shop and place those orders into the system so that they can be paid for and registered and all of that stuff, and we can produce the product. It is really important that if you are going to be using a paper form, that you are not collecting somebody's credit card information. So you're not going to write down your neighbor's credit card number and name and things like that. So if you're doing door to door, and people are paying you in cash, you will have to come back and place that order and either use, a Scout leader's credit card or a parent's credit card to complete that order through the My Scout Group Shop.
Right, which makes sense. And yeah, seconding Andrew, like, please don't ever put your group in a situation of having to juggle other people's credit card data. You do not want that hassle. This is actually one of the reasons that I'm really glad Scouts Tracker doesn't, I know there's the Scouts Tracker wallet, but it's essentially just a spreadsheet. We don't actually collect funds through Scouts Tracker. And I'm really, really glad for that because, oh my gosh, I don't want that headache of being essentially a payment processor. But yeah, on the subject of payment processors, like I say, is my Scout group shop integrated with like Square or anything like that, right? Like I know my group still has a handful of old Square readers in inventory. And we have our like Square account that we have used in the past for popcorn sales, for like if we're doing other fundraisers where we're like making burgers or something like that, right? And people want to pay us on card for that. We typically have Square readers that we can deploy to the field. So yeah, are you integrated with like a service like that? Or is it basically just all through the website and people are going to be able to use like Apple Pay, Google Pay, punch in their credit card details, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, just all right through the website for right now. Yeah, and like you said, Ken, you can use your Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal's on there as well.
Oh.
So all the major credit cards, of course, and yeah, just right for the website right now. But yeah, like you said, having kind of an integration might be something in the future we expand to. But yeah, just all right through Shopify and their secure payments.
Okay, well, Shop is good. I like Shop. All righty. Well, this might wind up being a very short episode because I'm kind of coming to the end of the questions and you've answered so many of them so handily already. But yeah, I mean, I imagine there's going to be a few more questions because I imagine well, not necessarily for me, but I imagine that groups will probably have some follow-on questions as we go along or as we start to launch the program, especially when it comes to things like the in-person sales. I guess I didn't ask. You've mentioned QR codes a couple times. Is that basically like auto-generated by the site when you've got your storefront set up?
That will be something groups will have to do. I know it can be done pretty easily if you're using Chrome as your browser. And I'm sure there's other ways as well, but we just have like a bit of a tutorial to do it through Chrome. And yeah, so encourage groups to do that to get their own QR codes.
Yeah, Edge has a similar feature. But
Edge as well. Maybe I'll hunt down those instructions and add it to our list, Ken.
Yeah, I've been off Chrome for quite a few years now, but I remember seeing the feature pop up in Edge, and I'm not surprised that it's made its way to other browsers as well. I know there's other services out there that some are free, some are paid that you can use to generate QR codes. I can probably put a list of links in the show notes if I really need to. And also, I guess on that point, like if you do have any pertinent links that you want to throw into the show notes, please do just like drop them in my email.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I'll send you my email as well for people to reach out if they have any other questions that came from listening to the episode or reading our FAQ pages, things like that. I'm always available to answer questions and love to help.
Yeah. Well, and I guess Andrew's been lighting up the chat again here, and I reminded me that I didn't ask one of the more important questions is, so what are we looking at for per unit cost for the different bags of popcorn that are on offer? And yeah, what is the rough take home that groups can expect from their sales?
Yeah, maybe I'll let Andrew jump on those ones. Give my voice a rest.
So we're really excited to make popcorn selling as accessible to everybody as possible. So the price point is $7 a bag. For comparison, I laid one of those bags down beside a bag of Miss Vicky's, and that's about the size of the bag of popcorn that you're getting for $7. So it's a pretty sizable bag. And we have a guaranteed revenue share with groups at 45%. So groups will automatically get 45% of the revenue. And that's going to include the shipping to one of the 27 distribution hubs. So when you register, you get to select which hub you want to go to. And then, of course, you can pick it up from that distribution hub there. That is one point that we hadn't made, which is right now, there's been a lot of changes and we want to make sure this goes as smoothly as possible. So final mile delivery or home delivery is not going to be available in this first year. But it is something that we're going to work on with AMJ to have a model in place for next year for groups that maybe don't want to come to the distribution hub, or maybe they're a little bit too far away from a distribution hub to drive that far, that we can work on home delivery options for folks. But so you get your guaranteed 45% and then free shipping to any of the 27 distribution hubs across Canada. The other really important point is when is the campaign? So the campaign's running this year from September 3rd to November 3rd.
Oh, it's a big wide window.
It is. Yeah, we wanted to make sure we gave people lots of time to sell and get it out there and learn about the program and things, which so we have a 2-month selling window. On November 3rd, we will cut off orders and everything immediately goes to production. Because of the vast network that we're working with, we are able to produce and deliver by December 1st everywhere in Canada. So we're really excited about that. You'll have your popcorn long before holidays, so people have bought it for getting together with family or as gifts or anything like that. You'll have it well in advance. That's
awesome. Yeah, because I imagine Colonel's probably has a bunch of different production silos across Canada.
Yeah, and I think that's a big reason why we when we decided to do this revamp, we know that shipping was one of the biggest contention points, and unfortunately Canada is just a really big country and shipping is expensive, and so we had to find a great shipping partner that could work with us, but also work with a manufacturer that had the capacity to be able to supply nationwide in a really streamlined format. And Colonel's, being a Canadian company with a nationwide footprint, really fit the bill. So that's how we're able to offer free shipping to the 27 depots and ensure that groups take home more money than before.
Excellent. I like it. And actually, I mean, since we keep mentioning them a bunch of times, these 27 hubs, and I mean, it got me thinking that in my experience of, past popcorn programs, essentially a lot of groups were creating those de facto distribution hubs anyways. I mean, I can't remember the last time I haven't seen emails going out, hey, popcorn is in, come to this or that or the other place to pick it up, right? Sometimes it's somebody's garage, sometimes it's, a rented space, especially if it's like a collaboration between multiple groups in the area. And so, but equally, if groups are, shall we say, significantly outside of a city, that they then have to drive into, that could definitely be a problem for that last mile piece, like you say. But, what are we looking at in terms of like where these hubs are? I don't need you to list all 27, but, just to have a rough idea for people out there, like, in a province like, British Columbia, for example, where would the hubs be versus Ontario versus Alberta? And are there any hubs in the territories?
Yeah, we're kind of across most of the major cities in Canada. Like you said, for BC, we have Vancouver, Victoria, and Kelowna. So, kind of hitting those major cities, hitting major population areas. Ontario is pretty vast with their distribution hubs just because of population density. But just kind of focused on the major big cities across all of the provinces for this year. And like Andrew had said, expanding to a final mile delivery, more distribution hubs in the future, not off the table. We want to see it happen. Can't wait to see how well everything goes this year and see like where we need to expand as well. This is a bit of a data collection year for us.
Yeah, like I'm just thinking about it in terms of something like BC, right? And I mean, I would assume most of the scout groups are probably concentrated in, the lower mainland and then into that like Kamloops, Kelowna area. But, if there are any scout groups around Prince George, they are going to have a bit of a drive.
Yes, this is true. Not something we're necessarily happy about for this year, but we got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely reach out to me if you're a group that is going to have trouble reaching a distribution hub. We're happy to work with you and help make this program successful for you as well. We don't want anyone not to participate because of location. We'll do everything in our power to make it happen for you as well.
Cool. I do like that the price per bag has dropped significantly. I don't have my last popcorn form ready to hand in front of me here, but I seem to recall that some of those prices were creeping up into the high teens and even into the 20 range. So I think actually that's probably something that I mean, I know I've seen a lot of complaint about that online in years past. So I'm hoping that that's something that's going to be exceedingly well received by groups. There's always some people who will complain that this is unavoidable. We know this, but I'm hoping that a lot of people will see that $7 price point and be just like, what, really? That's great.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're hoping too, from like a customer standpoint. Customers like, oh, $7, that's easy. Feel good purchase, make a donation to a group, and get some delicious popcorn to boot. And yeah, like I said, we have the 4 flavors. So for customers that can't decide, that want to try all 4, we have the campfire combo, one of each for $26. So a bit of a savings there, and yeah, then also offers a higher price point for those customers that do want to make a larger donation as well.
Or just want more popcorn. So, brand new popcorn campaign, brand new supplier, totally revamped how we pay for it model, or sales model, revamped distribution model, and a really, really convenient web front end and dashboard, not just for popcorn, but for all of a group's fundraising efforts, at least for the national fundraising programs, plus donations. That's a lot in 30 minutes. That's quite an informationally dense episode and a lot of interesting changes happening on the fundraising front for Scout groups in Canada coming up this year and then into 2026. That's honestly, I wasn't expecting half of that. I mean, I think we all know how popcorn programs have gone in the past. I think these are some very, very positive changes for the popcorn program now. I like the sound of it a lot, but I just, especially like the tool set and the fact that it's not just going to be for popcorn, but it's going to be for Scout groups in general, for other fundraising efforts that they participate in, for collecting donations, which, again, previously I know to be a bit of a hassle with the old way of doing it. So that is great. Is there anything else we've missed? Any other little piece of data that we really want to put out there that Scout groups should know about?
Yeah, I guess the other thing to mention would be our new crest, of course. With every new fundraiser, we have to have an updated crest. So we have a lovely new design to kind of match all of the new that's coming with Scout Popcorn 2025. And then as well a ghost crest that we are able to offer to every youth that sells 2 cases of popcorn. So that's 20 bags, 2 cases, and those will ship out to all the youth at the end of the campaign.
Well, everybody likes their ghost crests. Actually, on that, are there any other like prize incentives baked in this year, or is that basically like if groups want to have their own internal competitions, they're more than welcome to?
For the Ghost Crest specifically, I just want to note that we aren't tracking sales by the youth level. We are tracking them at the group level. So the whole group would achieve the Ghost Crest if the average per youth is 2 cases. That's how we're doing it this year. Of course, everything can change as we continue to grow and learn and get feedback. But so to get the group crest, your group has to have achieved an average of 2 cases per youth. And then they'll get that Ghost Crest at the end of the program. We are looking at a few other incentive options. The first one is for a $200 either Scout Shop gift card or Scout Parks gift card for booking campsites and things like that. And in order to be eligible for that draw, we're doing one per province, one draw per province. And in order to be eligible, all you have to do is register your group for popcorn before September 15th and sell a minimum of $500 worth of popcorn before the end of the program. So that's the first one. Every province is going to have a draw, which is really exciting. So some provinces, definitely you have a higher probability if you don't have a lot of participating groups. But really exciting because really everybody gets to participate in that. The other bonus incentive we have is really exciting, and it's for, we're doing one per region. So we have Western, Eastern, and Central. And this is a a $1,000 cash prize. It is a draw as well. And in order to be eligible or to have an entry in for that draw, you have to sell a minimum of $5,000 worth of popcorn by October 15th. So 2 different incentives, 2 different ways to win and add more revenue to your group.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you both for your time this morning and for agreeing to the last minute reschedule. Sorry about that. Wound up with a 2-hour highway drive on Friday morning that exactly occupied that span of time. But
we appreciate your early morning, Cam. We know it's early for you.
Yeah, I got it. My kids are, well, at least some of them are early risers. So I'm going to go make breakfast for people. But yeah, thank you ever so much for your time and for all of the details about the new popcorn program. And I really look forward to taking part in it this year. I'm sure my group will as well. myscoutgroupshop.ca. That's the portal. I will make sure to put that link in the show notes. And register today, I guess, if you're listening out there, because you're going to want to be prepared for the popcorn sales when they start in about 3 weeks' time. And thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Rachel. And
thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you out there for listening. And until next time, be prepared.